All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Lots of media joining us as well as online, so no notes for you ahead of time. But I just want to state a few rules of the room. If you could, please state your name and affiliation for our athletes. That way we can know who we are addressing. And as well, we ask that you keep it to one question so we can pass that mic around and get as many questions in as possible. So without further ado, we'll introduce our podium for the 450 class. Winning tonight, Jet Lawrence, runner-up Jason Anderson, and rounding out the podium, Ken Roxon. So we'll start with you, Jet Lawrence. Jet, you were having to fight tooth and nail with Jason Anderson throughout that one. So just talk to me about that moment where you saw that opportunity and capitalized for the lead.
Yeah, I was behind Jason in both of the heat and main, and I got to learn his lines, and obviously the main was completely different to the heat. We know we were pushing the pace in the heat race because we had traction, but once we got into the main, it was like once it was Jason and I 1-2, I all right, let's just try and find the safe lines and not throw it away because it would be worse to not get a podium after crashing or something. But yeah, I just tried staying there, and just one lap I couldn't really find anywhere, so I'm just gosh, I guess I just got to balls up and just send it through the whoops. And I think we both got sketched through that lap and do that line, but was able to make a pass and get through the second set too. But no, we're happy. A good rebound, I guess, from A1, which is also nice. So, yeah, just trying to get that points gap just less and less, but heading in the right direction, thankfully.
Job well done. And let me get that correct, the running order here. My apologies. Jet Lawrence, Ken Roxon, Jason Anderson. And now we're going to open it up to the media. So our first question, Jamie.
Jet, the track seemed very technical tonight. I believe you're the only one going over the table in that short rhythm. Why was the choice to make that line?
Well, I didn't really like tripling out because I'd go so high, and it was pretty easy. I would over jump it very easily. So I think if it didn't rain, after the heat race, I was thinking of going over quad because I felt like I could get it because I'd over jump that triple into the single. But with the rain, I'm like, we'll just play it safe. And I hit it for a few laps, but then, it wasn't like it was a breaker where I was making up an immense amount of time on Jason. So I'm like, I'll just hit the same and try and get it pretty good. The off end up getting nice so you can go through that triple better. So I ended up just going back. But originally it was just trying not go off that big one and go to the sky. But yeah.
Jace.
Jace, Gypsy Tales, mate. This week, a bit of adversity on a personal level for you guys, and then I think through A1, a bit of adversity in terms of the motorcycle. So there's some on-track adversity and some off-track adversity, but this weekend, probably when you needed to win the most in your 450 career, you were able to win. Do you learn anything about yourself as a person and as an athlete and the people that you have around you after what's going on in these first 3 weeks of the championship?
Yeah, I just focus on myself with the bike. That's all I've been doing the past few weeks. I think going back to Florida and having a nice reset, seeing my dog, my 2 lizards, and just some friends and family again to reset. Sadly, I'm not a big fan of California with driving hours to the test track and back. You lose your whole day. So it was just nice to get a reset. I only got to ride one time, but just that going back and being in your own bed and that stuff would just help me just focus back on myself. And, I got to focus on a championship. I don't really have time to try and focus on during the week drama. I have a very good agency with Wasserman and my manager, Jacob, and Travis Clark. So they handle that stuff for me. I don't need to worry about that. I'm focused on racing dirt bikes, what I get paid to do, and I'm going to do that the best I can. I don't need any other drama outside, So I just focus on riding my bike, getting that better, getting myself better, and just keep my head down.
And this win, how important was this win on track for you tonight?
It was just good to know I can win a main event again, honestly. So, yeah, it was just good to get back on that track and just keep that momentum going.
Kellen.
Kellen Brower, Swap Moto Live. For Jason, you got into the lead pretty quickly, and obviously the conditions were slick with the rain before it. How difficult was it to know where Jet was making time or what lines he was starting to uncork, because obviously you couldn't see him doing it?
Yeah, I think it's always tough when you're leading because you're trying to figure out what they're doing behind you. But to be honest, I think the best thing you could do is just try and hear where they're louder, and then try and figure out try and look, but it's really tough because you kind of want to stay into your line that is working, and especially that is comfortable, because that rain really made the track super slick. I knew I was really good in the whoops, and I just tried to just keep doing my thing. And for me, just being as sick as I was last weekend, and then this week, it's crazy. It feels like it's still lingering, but happy to be strong for the most of the main and lead some laps and step in the right direction.
Sir?
Ryan Nitzen with Cycle News. My question's for Kenny. You're in the hunt the whole race, and then that battle with Jason there at the end, you kind of touched on it on the podium a little bit, hitting neutral, I think you said, but can you take us through kind of that battle towards the end?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole main event was really rad. I feel like I was in a four-man battle the whole way. I had pressure from behind, and obviously the guys up front, and just very tricky track, really slick in some areas, and then a lot of like little techie things, like after the start area, like going over that little hump right there, hitting that rut was tough. And after I passed Jason the first time, that's going over the double and then hitting the tabletop, that's where I hit neutral on accident. Like, my boot must have just hit it, and I backed out of the triple, and then had to go to work again. But I was just so happy with the whole main event. I just kept really focused, and felt really strong in the whoops. Felt like I was able to catch to the front a little bit, and yeah, I'm just beyond stoked to be on the podium. Honestly, it's just been a dream.
Michael?
Hey, Michael Antonovich with Course Heading. Ken, this will be for you. After 3 really exciting races, a lot of diversity in the pack, you have the points lead right now with 2 podiums. How does it feel? I mean, how is that, especially after a busy off season where you'd raced and stayed sharp the whole time?
Yeah, I was, reminiscing about the rep plate like last week, like how, if I would have made the pass for third, I could have shared it with Eli, which would have been really rad. And, besides having the red plate frequently in 2022, I haven't really had a taste of it in a long time, and especially not on yellow. So it's just a dream come true. And honestly, Anaheim 2 is a little bit of a funky one. Like, I try not to be. I just feel a little bit more anxious of what happened in 2017. Like, it's just kind of lingering a little bit. So in practice and stuff, I'm just a little careful. And also we tried some things this week, and I had a new shock in. And for the last practice, I just kind of went back to my base, and that was that was the perfect decision we could have made as well, just because it felt a lot more familiar to me. So it seemed like everything that we have done today was a success. So,
Sir?
Justin Lee, Motocross Action. My question's for Jason. You touched a little bit on your illness and how it kind of was affecting you still tonight. Leading up to the race this weekend, what did the week kind of look like for you? Were you on the bike? Were you off the bike? Were you taking time to kind of, rehabilitate yourself?
Yeah, I didn't really do much until Wednesday, and then Wednesday I was able to ride a little bit with Jorge, and we did. I was able to do like some short laps, do a moto, try and maybe do some stuff to my motorcycle that we worked on, and then hung out Thursday, did press day. So I didn't really do much, probably like 4 hours total of training. But it's I honestly thought I was sick on Saturday, and I'd be Sunday maybe sick and fine on Monday, like a normal cold, but yeah, just kind of lingering.
Tyler?
Adam.
I apologize. Adam.
You're good. We look the same. Adam from Track Talkers for Kenny. At the beginning of the year, the power rankings for manufacturers was Suzuki in last place, and now you have the red plate. Question 1. Question 2, how have you been the best in the championship?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just sometimes up for surprises, right? Like, we've been putting in a lot of work, and it's tough going through the, if you want to call it off-season, or the off-season races, just not feeling like you're 100% or the motorcycle isn't 100%, but then also that's the time where the experience comes into play and just trying to be patient. So now, if somebody would have told me I had the red plate after 3 rounds, I would have been like, are you sure? But it's pretty rock and roll, not going to lie. So I'm just going to enjoy the moment, and, of course, the work doesn't stop, and I'm just going to try and put it on the box as much as I can.
Jace?
I guess the question probably for Ando and Kenny, Jet, you're like too young to answer this question. Sorry, brother. But I think we're seeing the sport in an extremely unique place where you've got guys that are over 30, like trading out red plates, and I think tonight you could see, like, Ando, your riding style, which is like how technical you are. Why do you think that we're just now seeing consistently guys over 30 leading the championship, multiple podiums early in the season? Like, what is the X factor apart from the little freak that's in the middle? It's pretty much been dominated by older guys.
To be honest, I think we all just really enjoy what we do. You know, I think I'm pretty sure like all of us have gone through a hump to where we're kind of bitter at what we do just because it's tough. It's really tough. But I think now I think we're all at the age to where, you know, not driving to the track on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, going to the races, you know, 30 weekends a year. It's what we've done for so long. So I think we're just passionate about what we do.
And honestly, I think also we gotten, I don't know if you want to call it lucky, but throughout the off season, like all of us have stayed healthy. You know, there were no, you know, we weren't grenading ourselves, and I think everybody is firing on all cylinders at 100%, and that's the kind of racing that you get when we're all, you know, at the top of our game.
Scott Yarja, Moto Now. Ken, with the two sets of whoops, with the second one being prepped differently, did they break down differently? Did you have a preference?
Honestly, they both broke down for sure. Even in practice, I was I don't know, surprised, but you know, when you walk them, they were like cement, especially the rolled ones, right? But then we have hundreds of people doing hundreds of laps throughout the day, and you're gonna break through the crust. But that second set of whoops, even though they were rolled, they were no joke. I thought they were pretty big, and of course, once they get cupped out, they start getting steeper and steeper. So then the rain played a big role too, and I mean, overall, though, I did enjoy the track. I thought it was technical. It was a very busy track. A lot of, you know, we went from not really having a rhythm section last weekend, you know, where we jumped 3 in and then quad out. That was the only rhythm section, if you want to call it, to having a lot of obstacles on a track here today. But overall, I enjoyed the whole track, honestly.
Over here, Jace.
I guess a question on the track. Last year, we kind of got stuck with 9 whoops, and it just seems like everyone was complaining online, you guys, and it was just like staunchly 9 whoops, and we didn't change. This year, I feel like the track crew, like leaving the quad in last week, we've had some variations in whoops. I personally think that the whoops have made for great racing at all 3 rounds. Your take just in general on not just the builds of the track, but maybe Feld and Dirtworks taking on some of the maybe, I don't know whether it's criticism or advice, and your just general thoughts on the track, maybe all 3 of you guys.
I got 2 kids. I don't have time to worry about what the tracks are going to be like. So I've honestly just been showing up, not overthinking it.
Yeah, for me, I think the steamroller is nice. You know, I think if you build the whoops with a lot of dirt, they don't have to be huge. But I think they can still be safe to where we can all blitz them through the whole night. And I think tonight they did a really, really good job at making them have enough dirt to where you could blitz them and jump them. Because when I was behind Cooper, I mean, he was still jumping them, and it wasn't like terribly. So it still took me, 3 laps to pass them. So yeah, I think they were solid. And I think even if you go to like some of like the off-season races, like back in the day, like Geneva, it's soft dirt, but they steamroll them, and they still stay blitzable for the whole night.
Yeah, I'm a fan of having the harder whoops, like a lot of us, like top guys, we practice and we train a lot on whoops to try and become better because it is you can gain a lot, but you can also lose a lot there. So I think when we had the 9 whoops where if you weren't as good as a skimmer, you could just go jump to them 3 times and get out of it. It's kind of like unfair in a way, because the guys who've worked their butt off to try and skim better and get the bike where it works better and that stuff, because it is hard to skim. It's a lot more of a technical thing. You have to put it on this much of the whoop. Even though the whoop's this big, you're still only hitting like just a small spot. So I think having the more whoops is better, and having them steamrolled to make sure they kind of stay a little bit more skimmers. I think for better Supercross skimmer whoops like Kenny, Jason, Eli, myself, Chase, we have a bit of an upper hand because we took that time to work on that. So I think I'm a fan of having more whoops and more difficult ones. I struggle in these whoops today. Even I got bucked sideways a few times. But it kind of creates good racing. It's not just simple whoops. We're not just going brup brup doing easy, So I'm a fan of them, even if they're hard for me personally.
How many were there on the first set, actually?
I don't know.
Was it more than 9?
Oh. It's hard to count when you're skimming them.
Well, I want to come back to the room if time permits, but I do want to give an opportunity to our virtually joining us media. And starting with Brent Bowser, a question.
Yeah, Brent Bowser, Whiskey Throttle Media. My question's for Jet. Jet, obviously round one was not what you wanted. You battled back. Round two had that great ride with Eli. Come in tonight, you take your first win of the season. Were you a little worried, listening to the internet and all the podcasts, everybody's worried about the bike and, coming to the season. Were you worried or did you know that you'd be back on track this weekend or sometime soon?
No, I wasn't too worried personally because I know, like, the first round was a bit of a bike thing, but also this, if I didn't make the second mistake of crashing, I was in front of Eli, so I could have been fifth or fourth and we wouldn't be having this conversation. So it was just kind of a decision thing. Like, my riding's good. I feel good on the bike. It was just kind of those helping the bike help me out more, Like, obviously, I'm human. I can make mistakes. I'm not going to be picture perfect always. We try our best to, but we can always make silly mistakes, that are uncalled for and that you don't mean to make. But setting up a bike really good obviously helps that a bit. So the first round didn't really help that a lot. But, we've always just kind of kept looking at the bike and ourselves, we're not always like it's only the bike's fault. There's also things that I could be better on, exactly like I said on the first round. Like, that wasn't so much a bike problem, Like, the second mistake of me crashing, that's a me mistake, so I didn't see the top block and my hand hit it, Like, so, it just helps motivate me more, It just puts me in a challenging position where I just got to make sure I kind of focus. I don't have any more mulligans anymore, so I just got to make sure I get to each race and focus and execute.
Nick.
Yeah, thank you. Nick Still with MotoOnline.com. This will be for Jet. Jet, watching you throughout the night, racing Jason Anderson, is it a case of, your past with Jason and you guys have had a lot of time on the track together, is a little bit more caution behind it, potentially setting that pass up to make sure there is no rebound?
It's more so like just trying to find where a good place to pass them without making contact. I don't always want to come in and just hit someone. Like we were talking last weekend with Eli. Like, we had really, really good racing because we got close multiple times. Chase and I got close on the 3-on. Like, I was looking above his helmet on the 3-on. Like, it was we got close, but we never touched. So I feel like, again, that's fun racing to me. I love racing when it's close, and Jason's really good at defending. Like going right after, going like across and staying low in the berm where I couldn't do anything. Like, it's fun racing and it's learning for me, and mainly the whole main is just trying to make sure I can find a rhythm and like safe lines everywhere because it was so greasy, so you couldn't really sprint it all, because you're most likely going to end up on your head. So it's kind of just trying to be smart, and I finally got close enough in the whoops, and I was just trying to make something happen and try and get past, and was able to do it. We both got sketchy through the whoops that lap. I'm pretty sure, like, it was those whoops were pretty, very edgy and slippery. But yeah, it was just more so trying to be patient, not try and force anything or push anything where it's going to make a mistake further on.
Hey, happy Australia Day too, Jet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have time for one more. I understand we have one on this side of the room.
Ryan, it's my second news. I'll go, Jason, kind of same question that was just asked, but from your perspective, like, just really good racing from you and Jet all night. You guys have had your stuff in the past, but just cool to see you guys race clean, fun racing tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. Like I said, I even told Jet after the race, I was like, I'll talk crap off the track, but when we're in those battles, I think it's really cool to, I'm going to keep it real. I even like, he always has raced me really well, and tonight he got the better of me, but it was fun racing, and being able to do that up front is cool for, all of us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Jet Lawrence, Ken Roxon, Jason Anderson.
Won't be my last mistake tonight.
Okay, time to get rolling with our 250 podium. Our big winner tonight, Hayden Deegan, Julian Beaumer, and Cole Davies, your top three. Hayden, I got the strong impression you were pretty fired up this evening. Well, really all day. You know, I know that you performed so well under pressure. Did you get any sense of pressure coming into today, or none at all?
No, no pressure, just straight war mode. I'm like, dude, I'm blocking out everything. I need to win, and that's like what it came down to. Me and Christian, we put in way too much work for me to be third place, so that's not happening, and it was just war ready.
Thank you very much. We'll open it up to questions from the media. Michael.
All right, Michael Antonovich with Course Heading. This will be for Hayden and Julian. Do take me through the day for both of you. Hayden, you come in knowing you got to make some work, make some things happen. Julian, you have the red plate. And you guys went at it right from time qualifying. The back and forth was awesome. Heat races were good, but then that look over on the opening lap of the main event was just like, all right, here we go. So Hayden, start with you, and then Julian, give me your spin.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got the red plate now, so I'm going to ride him like he's got the red plate. But obviously, it's a good racing. It's Supercross. You're going to get into it. And honestly, the pass I did on him was a clean pass. He just kind of got a little stuck on the berm. But it's Supercross. We're having some fun. And, you know, I'm sure Juju's having fun, too. I mean, the main event, he kind of ran it in a little as well and looked over on each other on the double, which it's fun. I enjoy that. But obviously, you know, I want to be first at the end of the race. So it's cool, though.
Yeah, same as him. It's fun. We're having fun. No hard feelings. We're racing dirt bikes and we're here to win. So yeah, if we got a race like that every weekend, we're gonna race like that.
Jamie.
Jamie Guida, Vital MX. Julian Beaumer, so far the season's been a dream for you. Tonight, though, I felt you were struggling a little bit in the whoops. Anything you need to work on? Any bike setup? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I struggled quite a bit in the whoops all day. We made a change after the first qualifying session where I felt like it helped, but then the whoops broke down a little bit different than I thought they were in the main, and I struggled for sure. So going to get back to work, figure that out this week, and be better in Glendale.
Jace.
Colin, mate, congratulations on your first podium. Every time I've seen you through any of the days, you qualify fifth, and you're just like legitimately pissed off. Does this feel like a rookie season? Because I think a lot of people know what your name is now that maybe didn't before. You seem to have a very high expectation of yourself. Was this an expectation coming into your rookie season to get a third? And then have you got a block of Whitakers to celebrate tonight?
We got block of Whitakers back home right now, but yeah, they'll be waiting for me. Yeah, I obviously want to do good. You know, I think I was like P8 after first qualifying. I was pissed with that. But then I was like P4 after the second one. I was more happy with that one. But yeah, I'm definitely more of a racer. I like racing better than qualifying. So it was.
But did you expect to be on the podium 3 races into your pro career? Because not a lot of people expected to see you up here just purely because they just hadn't seen you race that much.
I mean, yeah.
Ryan Itzen with Cycle News. For Julian, take us through the main event kind of from your perspective. Came out hot and then kind of whether backed it down, you kind of touched on it about the whips and stuff. Were you kind of just playing it smart, keep the red plate? Kind of take us through it from your side of things.
Yeah, I went for an early pass, second turn, didn't make it stick, and he got away a little bit, and he was a better guy. I mean, he got a good, I'd say, 5-second lead by like lap 5 or 6, and the track, it started raining, and it got slick. So there's nothing much I could do. He was better tonight, and that's that.
Did you feel the pressure from Jordan there at the end?
Yeah, I knew he was there, but I wasn't too worried about it. He made a run in the whoops the last lap, and I knew that was going to happen. I started jumping him late in that main event, so I knew that was going to happen, but I wasn't too worried about it. Just ride my race, and we'll see where we end up.
Adam?
Adam, Track Talkers for Hayden Deegan. So you've struggled with starts so far this season. You absolutely nailed the start in the main event. I mean, give us real talk. What changed? Was it the gate pick, a little bit of advice? Was it something you did at the track? What's the difference?
I don't know. I mean, I just did a lot of work this week, and that's what it comes down to, is if you want to get good at something, you just got to nail it a lot of times. So I was just grinding the starts and grinding the bike setup, because I was having to do these races at 70% with my arms pumped up. So now I can do it at 70% with my oxygen there and everything, and arms feeling great. Like, today was an absolute movie. Like, pretty much got to the lead and could just ride my race at pretty much 70-80% and finish the race, and I feel like I could go another hour if I wanted to. So, yeah, but we're feeling good.
So all you worked on was just executing the starts. You know how there was no change in technique, nothing like that?
No, the thing is, I know what technique I need to do, but I got too far away from it when I was doing the starts. Like, I was making mistakes. So you got to drill back in that technique into your head and kind of nail that.
Awesome.
Justin
Lee, Motocross Action. My question is for Julian. You seem very level-headed. After going down in the heat race, it would be easy for you to kind of ride over your head in retaliation. A lot of the younger riders coming up, they might seem like, I got to get that guy in front of me or whatever it may be. What is kind of your thoughts on the outlook of the overall season? Are you playing the long game, or are you taking it week by week?
Taking it week by week. I mean, you can't get frustrated over a crash in the heat race. It's a heat race. It's not the main event. You don't get points for the heat race. So I wasn't worried about it. I just went back, seen what I did wrong, and improved on that in the main event.
Michael.
All right, this is for Hayden. Going back to second qualifying, the last one of the day, I watched it from the stands and paid attention to you both. And you had kind of a frustrating one. You tried to do a fast lap. You had some people mess theirs up. And then when you went for a fast one, you washed out. So what was that session like, knowing, hey, I want to make a point against him right now, and then having it not happen the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, I actually was on an absolute burn, like a perfect lap, and I was like, I literally nailed everything, nailed the whoops, and I was like, this is going to be fast, and then literally washed out, did the last straightaway up the finish. But then I was like, I mean, I'm third, Juju's first, this is perfect, we're in the same heat, so it's going to be a battle. But yeah, it didn't really bother me. I mean, it is what it is.
I will give you that. We dartfish that lap.
Yeah, I have no clue what it was, because we don't be doing the dartfish, we just kind of assume.
Fast lap.
Jace.
I want to just switch gears real quick, if I may. A little bit of 450 bench racing. Have you guys got to follow any of the 450 races? And what do you three make of this 450 championship?
I just thought it was gnarly. Roxon's got the red plate now. I was like, when was the last time a Suzuki had a red plate? And then that's pretty wild, though. That's sick. That's what shows you consistency is key. He ain't even won a race yet, and he's got the red plate. But it's been gnarly. You got all these guys. I mean, Tomac was like kind of buried tonight, and he was the guy last weekend. It just shows you how gnarly the field is and how prepared you're going to have to be when you go to a 450.
Kellen.
Kellen Brown.
I mean, yeah, it's cool to see Tomac on a comeback. The field is so deep in the 450 class, it's just cool to see the racing. We're watching qualifying, and then like Jed and Eli just going at it. It's just cool to watch.
Yeah, 450 season is going to be good. It's going to be a shootout for 17 rounds, so it'll be fun to watch.
My apologies, Cole and Julian.
Kellen Brower, Salt Moto Live for Hayden. You grew up an hour from here, and I know that you won the SMX title at the Coliseum, but is there any more special sentimental value to you to win here at Anaheim?
Yeah, A2 is definitely, that's you got to knock that off the bucket list, winning at Anaheim. I mean, this is like, I think, the biggest Supercross, maybe not A2, but A1 in general, like just the Anaheim. It's all the local moto fans are from around here, so, and it's the hometown crowd. You got to, put on a show, and that's kind of what I've been trying to do, so we finally got it done.
Jamie
Guido, Vital MX, Cole Davies. I know you kind of been asked this. It sounds like you said a minute ago you expected to be up here, right? So now, do you expect to win next, like soon?
Yeah, hopefully. It's one of my goals this season. I want to go win a Supercross race. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to keep working on that. Just build every weekend and, just keep building.
Scott
Yarja, Moto Now. Cole, did you realize that Jordan had crashed in front of you? And if so, like, what was that lap, the last lap like for you?
I was going to the whoops and I seen yellow flags. I was like praying, but I'm not like, I'm just, man, it was, yeah, and then I seen him down and I'm like, yes, but I'm glad he's alright, but like, yeah, it's good.
Jace.
Hayden, Did this feel like a must-win? I mean, you've kind of had this like weird career progression where it's like first year no one expects anything, second year almost no one expects anything. This year it's just like, hey, this dude needs to win and he needs to dominate. 2 rounds of no winning. Was this the first time in your career where you were like, hey, I actually have to win this race this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a long season. I thought the season was shorter. Christian's like, after the first race, I was like, bro, I really got to lock in and start winning. He's like, dude, you're fine. You got plenty of races left. I was like, oh, we have that many races left? Okay, cool. I was like, it actually kind of brought some stress off the shoulders. But honestly, I can't even look at those last 2 races because, I mean, I didn't have my bike set up right. And that's just how it is. It's part of the game. It's dirt bike racing. And now that I got the bike set up, though, I'm a whole different rider out there. And that's what we're looking for.
Is the farm versus Cali thing that different for bike setup? Like you guys were that far off just purely based on location?
Yeah, it's hard to say because some days at the farm will be hard packed or not, but maybe I just really didn't set up my bike that great at the farm anyways. Like when I was riding at the farm, I kind of did struggle with my bike set up a little bit. So, we got down to the West Coast and obviously it wasn't too great at the first 2 rounds, but I will tell you, we got that bike dialed now. Jake, the suspension guy, we grinded that and we got it good. And dude, my whoops are just unreal right now. The bike's perfect. So, super proud of the boys over there.
And did you expect this from Cole? He expected it for himself, but did you know he was going to get on the box?
Yeah, it seems like he doesn't expect it. He just goes with the flow. He's like, if it comes, it comes. Oh, please don't clip me for that. Oh, damn, I'm cooked. Yeah, but honestly, he's a good rider. He's got that new era technique. There's no reason why he shouldn't be on the podium. The kid rips. So, obviously, congrats to him. And I remember that first podium, too. It's just the start to something big.
One more from the room. Adam?
Adam from Track Talkers for Juju. So I seen on your parade lap you had a pretty big swap out in the whoops. Did you get back to the gate, talk to your mechanic, and go, hey, we need to make a change now? If you made that change, was it better or worse? And what do you have to do on your bike to be comfortable in the whoops?
Yeah, almost killed myself on the sight lap, so that wasn't great. We made a change before the main event. We had to go fast through the whoops on the sight lap just to see if it worked or not. Obviously, it didn't. We made a change right after that before the main event and didn't do too much. So I'm going to get back to work, try to figure out what we did wrong with bike setup through the whoops this week, and be better in Glendale.
Now we'll welcome questions from our media online, starting with Justin.
Yeah, thanks. Justin Schuler with Athlon Sports. Cole, you kind of touched on this quite a bit, but what are you going to do to celebrate this podium?
Go eat some Whitakers and, I don't know, maybe deposit some money into my MX Bikes account, buy some more tracks, something like that.
And obviously
Whitakers is a chocolate. Everyone needs to try Whitakers. I'd probably go with the wild beer, I think it is. That one's good.
Nick.
Yeah, thank you. Nick Stillmotor online.com. This will be for Hayden. Hayden, on the podium, you sort of mentioned Juju's comments last week sort of fired you up. Is that something that fuels you for this, or is it as simple as Hayden Deegan loves a rivalry?
I mean, I always love a rivalry. I honestly don't know how to say that word. Damn. But anyways, yeah, it was, I was just things I see on the internet, people when they're like clickbait their podcast. I'm like, who knows if he said that? Cause I don't really watch your videos, but honestly, if he did, then cool. Cause now I'm mad and I want to win. So, I'm going to figure out how to do that, but who knows? Yeah, I kind of use that stuff as a little motivation to get me fired up for the next weeks. And, Juju's riding good though. He's been consistent. So, we got to get our stride back and, keep chopping at that points lead.
Brent Bowser.
Yeah, Brent Bowser, Whiskey Throttle Media. My question is for Hayden. Hayden, we know you're working with Christian Craig. Obviously, you guys are good friends, and he's a great rider to his own name. What's something that you've learned from him, or is it just having a friend in the corner that's helped you out, or what are you guys striving for working with Christian this year?
Yeah, I definitely think some people were starting to kind of doubt me working with Christian was the right thing, and I kind of had to take a step back. And my preseason, I was like, I need to focus on myself, and these last 2 races didn't really show how much work we put in. And Christian's been a great mentor for me. The dude's been through the highs and lows majorly in this sport. He's seen it all. Yeah. So he's kind of been there as a friend and a guy to be like, all right, now you need to pick it up and work harder. So he definitely has both sides to him, but I mean, it's been super good. Obviously, love having Christian in my corner because he's like pretty much a family friend as well. So, and it's nice, during going through the weeks training with someone that you're comfortable with, and it's not kind of, a little awkward, but it's good with Christian.
Congrats on the win.
Mitch Kendra.
Hey, Mitch Kendra from RacerX Online. Cole, congrats on the podium. We know you had Supercross skills last year through SX Futures, so good ride. Obviously, you mentioned Tomac. Like, you're 17 years old, you're a rookie. He's a veteran. He's going to be an all-time legend. What's it like having him as a teammate? And, like, you're like a sponge. I'm sure you've talked to him and learned from him, and just watching him in general. What's that like being able to learn from someone like him?
Yeah, it's definitely cool watching him at like the test track, just like absolutely dominate the track. So, yeah, it's definitely cool watching him. I got one of his jerseys like a couple weeks ago, so hung that up. It's pretty sick.
So is there anything like specific he's pointed out to you or you've asked him about, or like anything really you can point to of like
just obliterating the track pretty much?
Nick, I see your hand up. Do you have a follow-up question? No? All right. Do we have any more in the room here? Jace.
It's a random one. We had the GOAT on the podcast this week, and he asked me, do you think anybody in the 250 class could tighten their own chain and then do a lap of Supercross? Can any of you boys tighten it?
I definitely could. I got it.
I actually, when I was on my KTM for a while, I actually worked on my bike for a couple weeks, so I could do that. I could change an oil filter, I can put the chain lube on, so I can get my bike ready for the practice track. Maybe not a factory star Yamaha, because that thing might need some more maintenance, but a stock 250 I could do some work on.
Yeah, same. I think we all got it pretty covered. We should be all right.
It's good to know. Good to know.
I got time for one more. Adam?
I mean, I don't even have a question. Congratulations. I just got the microphone, but everybody, nice job and cool. Yeah, it's been really cool to see you rise to the top and see where you came from.
Cheers, mate.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Again, Hayden Deegan, Julian Beaumer, Cole Davies. That's a wrap. We'll see you guys next weekend. Don't miss out.